Are you looking for a way to scale your short-term rental business and buy more properties? Well, co-hosting might be the right fit for you. Welcome to the Cohost Coach podcast with Joe Roney. This episode of the Cohost Coach is brought to you by Savvy STR Agents. If you're looking to buy a short-term rental, then contact the STR Savvy Agent team at savvy.realty.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Co-Host Coach. I am Joe Roney, and I am super excited to have Mo and Brad Crawford here, who are with Crawford's Hospitality Partners. So welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, it's funny, you meet so many people in this space in the Facebook groups and the different things, which obviously is kind of where we connected. And then I started following your page and seeing what you're doing and really liked. So talk to me about a little bit about your business.
Hi. We are a co-hosting and consulting business. We are targeting our local area, which is on the shores of Lake Erie in Ohio. And the area we're in has began to be a vacation spot.
Okay.
People don't realize it's Vermillion, Ohio, and that's becoming a hot vacation spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's close to Cedar Point.
That's great. That's great. So when did you get started in short-term rentals in general, and that led you down this path?
A few years ago, Brad came home and he was talking about getting into long-term rentals.
Yep. I was following, Bigger Pockets and all that stuff and listening to all that. And a friend of ours has a short-term rental right around the corner. And every time he'd come over to do something plumbing wise on our property, he'd go, "Hey, when are you going to turn this into a short-term rental?" And he bugged me for probably 3 years. And then Maureen had suggested that, we look at it, and she kind of nudged me in that direction. And then she did a whole bunch of research to get us on the short-term rental path. And I'll let her take over with the story there a little bit, or the history there.
Yeah. When we were thinking about doing the long-term rentals, one of our friends is one of the top realtors probably in the state. And he came over and he said, you can make more revenue doing short-term rather than long-term. And he owned one himself. So we're like, okay. So then I started researching, doing all the audiobooks, all the podcasts. And then we went to the STR Wealth Conference in Nashville this year. And that was a game changer. We originally wanted to learn the investing side, but then we figured out that co-hosting is where it's at. Yes. And we are we have a small farm, and we have 3 buildings, and we have an extra building that was my gym. But while we were looking around to purchase a home, we just kept looking at that building and looking at that building on our property. So financially, we decided to empty out the gym, throw it in the basement, and we added a kitchen and bathroom onto it. It's like in the tiny home category, and that's what we decided to do. And we listed and launched it on our way home from that short-term conference.
Yep.
That's awesome. So that was at March of this year, 2023, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have exploded quickly by just jumping for being in here such a short period of time.
Yes.
We started construction in 2023 with the plan, but then, going to the conference, it was kind of like the catalyst in the cattle prod to get us moving and get us motivated. So we turned it pretty quickly. It went from rough in just stud and open roof to a finished product in April.
That's awesome. And how, so that's the first property that you jumped into, and how has that performed this year for you? Has it been able to hit your goals that you were hoping?
It surpassed the goals.
Yes.
We joined a mastermind, and we had a slow start, but once we got educated and learning more on how to optimize everything, from then on, it just exploded. And it's wintertime and it's cold, and we're still booking out.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It is a unique market up there. I mean, anywhere up on the Great Lakes can, seasonality is good, but now do you get any, I know it'd be your first winter, but is there any kind of ski slopes or snow type stuff near you at all, or?
Within about 45-minute drive to an hour drive, there's some pretty nice slopes that they generate their own snow if we're not producing snow in this area. And a lot of people come in to ski and enjoy and snowboard that area. So I don't know if we'll maximize on that market so much. We're hoping just to kind of stay quiet and attract couples that want to just relax and just get away, like a weekend away, or a day or two here and there.
Yeah, with the amenities we added, our avatar is a lot of couples coming in just to go somewhere in the wintertime to escape their reality for a little bit.
Yeah. So that's is that the only one you currently own, and you just jumped into co-hosting from there?
Yes, that's the one we currently own. And we figured, since you need to get your boots on the ground, learning about it and owning and actually doing it are two different things. So we're grateful and think it's important to actually own your own first and get that optimized. And then you can expand to go out and help other people. And we're currently in negotiations with a few hosts and have some people that wanting to self-manage but don't know how to. So we have those reaching out to us to help them with on the consulting side.
Nice. And I 100% agree. My mastermind, it's a prerequisite. You have to own your own short-term rental. I don't do anyone in my coaching program or my mastermind program that is what I call keyboard warriors. I'm not saying it's wrong. There are some people that are very successful that just have co-host businesses. I'm not, downing anyone that does that. And if they do the podcast, they do the research, and they become experts in their field, more power to it. I feel like when you own, you have a vested interest. You know everything about what's going on, not just, how to do guest communication, and you understand everything. So I really think it's important to do that. And that's what really attracted me to have you guys on here, because I knew that you did own one. So co-host properties currently, do you have co-host properties that you're currently taking care of now?
We don't have any contracts signed at the moment. Again, we are in negotiations with two people, two hosts, two owners right now. One is moved out of state and they can't sell their house. So I reached out about you might make a little more revenue doing a short term. And there's another couple who own a very nice, significant property a half hour south of us too. So we're trying to help them get going on their short-term rental to make their home one.
We're fielding a lot of questions too, because we learned some hard lessons in the beginning of how to decorate, how to prepare, what things to set up, and so we have a lot of people that are trying to, like Mo said, getting ready to self-manage, and they're asking some questions about what to do, what not to do. So we're trying to pay it forward that way, and just try to help them avoid making costly mistakes.
Yes.
So
we're just a few months in with this business, and I have started a little meetup group, a little mastermind group, and that's going to start to expand, and we're going to do more with that after the holidays. Everyone's real busy. And I also started a Facebook group for short-term rental host, co-host, because there isn't anything like that in this area.
Yeah.
So we're getting out there and networking.
No, and that's important to get in their area. That's kind of what I done in Panama City Beach. I have a Facebook group that is for Panama City Beach owners, and it doesn't necessarily mean they have to self-manage. Some do, some don't. Some hire property managers, but it's just a place for everyone to be able to have an area to have like-minded people to have these conversations. The one thing I've learned in this business, and the reason why I started my mastermind, is you've got to have a tribe. You've got to have your network of people that are in the same space, and that's how you're going to learn and grow. The people that are out there trying to do it on their own and they don't have that, they'll get to a point where they have to keep asking somebody else questions, and instead of just being part of a group, and growing quicker and faster, they're always trying to play catch up. So I think it's important. So I think it's awesome that you've done that and found your tribe. And I love that you guys are new into this, because I've had a mixture of people in this business that are, I interviewed last week, Matt Nesbitt, who's got, 10, 11 properties, I think he said total. I've had people on that have had anywhere from, 2 to 4 properties, but, so you're new getting into this space. So what are your goals, right? So you're going into, 2025. You'll have a full year under your belt come spring, come March. But what are your co-host goals going into next year?
We are currently, our big audacious goal is we love to have a micro resort or a boutique hotel. And we are actually finding people who want to invest and they want to own, but they don't want to run it. So this is freshly coming up this weekend of learning someone and a little networking that Brad knows pretty well.
Yeah.
That we just learned that they want to do like a tiny home resort somewhere, but they don't want to run it. Yeah. And that is our goal. And like, that's what we want to do. So that's
it was strange. It was just a conversation that was being had that was a friend of a friend type scenario. And they're like, hey, just so you know, this person wants to do this exact thing. And I went, oh, that's interesting, because that's exactly what we're doing. And so I emailed her today and I was like, hey, this may be a strange question, but I heard this from this person, and maybe we should sit down and talk, your husband and me and my wife, and just kind of discuss the options and where you're at and where we're at and go from there. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And, partnerships can be a great way to jump into this business. I will tell you, and we can talk offline about, making sure you have some sort of exit strategy before you have an enter strategy, to understand all that kind of stuff. But it can be a really, really great way to grow in this business in that. And especially if you don't have unlimited funds. We see all these, huge influencers out there that are buying, multi-million-dollar homes and growing portfolios, and that's awesome. And and they all started where we are, right? Like, they didn't start with billions of dollars or million, whatever it is. They started where we were. They're just 5, 6, maybe 10 years ahead of us, and it's growing to get there. So it's great to see, more people getting into the space like my wife and I. That we're actually closing on our newest short-term rental tomorrow. So we got clear to close today, so we're pretty excited about that. So
Congratulations.
yeah. So getting into the boutique hotel space, as far as co-hosting more single-family homes, is that something that you're looking at getting into as well?
Yes, we were willing to do both, because we love this business. We love making people happy. We always want to do something in hospitality, and we finally found our niche. And we still work W-2s, so we want to get out of that.
Yep, that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to get out of the W-2. I seen, your pictures this past week. You've been decorating for the holidays. This will air actually, about a week before Christmas. So is that just your property that you've been decorating? That's the one?
Yes, that's the one.
Yep. You've done a great job with it. And, you talked a little bit earlier about design and amenities, and that is such a big thing. My wife and I, when we co-host a property, we go in and do a design update. So we typically will, work with the owners to spend from $5,000 to $40,000 or whatever it may be to go in and update the design, because we want high quality properties that are going to perform well. And as you have done with your property, that's how you're going to exceed those goals.
Yes, we built and designed that all by ourselves, just the two of us, including the addition, all of it. He does great with the construction, and I do the design, and he brings it to life. And part of our speaking to potential clients, I actually look at their listing and I put on pictures, how we see potential and opportunities with the design and the updates. So we're blessed to have those talents, at least save a little money on that way too for the owners.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean it's, there are some amazing designers out there and they charge a lot of money for what they do because
You know,
they are amazing. And we charge for our design and our updates. We're not quite
yes.
to the level as some of those really, top tier designers yet, but we're getting there. And I have no doubt in my mind, you might be one of the next power couples that we're talking about on getting into this space as well, because you guys are definitely well on your way. So I'm excited for you guys.
Thank
So
you.
as far as, buying any more properties, you, something, more of the investment of partnering in that or any more, single family type stuff?
We'll probably go down the single family spot here in the future, but trying to get the businesses all up and running, the co-hosting side up and running. We're going to have to take a small reprieve from us personally shelling out a lot of money for another property. But we're actively looking, especially in the Lake Erie shores. There's, I'll call them fixers or flipper houses that are out there that can use a design update that would be a good short-term rental in a good location. And we're just gonna wait for the price to be right and the funds to be right. So, but
Yeah.
yes, the answer is yes. We're hoping to own more in this area.
Yes, we will be. We will. Talking to a gentleman right now. He's a remodeler, and he only has this home listed on Facebook Marketplace, and I've been seeing it, and I love it because it's also another unique home, and it just needs furnished. So I reached out to him over this weekend. So it wasn't a no. He was just like wanting to know what the numbers are. So
Yeah.
it's another unique property near the Lake Erie shores.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, how far are you, in Ohio, like from the major Ohio cities? Is it pretty good distance?
So the easiest way to put it is if you know where Cleveland and Toledo are on the map, we're directly in the middle. You split it, we're equal distance to both.
Cedar Point is very hot up here. We've had people even come from Canada, over the summer. So we're 30 minutes east of Cedar Point and 30 minutes west of Cleveland. So we have guests that come here to visit both areas.
Mhm.
So
I mean, that's a good location because, it's a quick 30-minute getaway for a weekend for you to have
yes,
that niche. And I think you targeting that avatar is exactly why you're seeing the success that you are, by understanding that. And I think that's, I'm in vacation rental markets, like traditional vacation rental markets between PCB and Branson. So that those avatars are obviously very different. Most of the time we're
correct.
families or multifamilies. But, when you're in a space like you guys are, which is vacation rental market, but it's, a little bit different, not your
It is.
traditional,
It is.
understanding that avatar.
And that's why we're like astonished how we surpassed what we thought we
Mhm.
would do. And we're also 6 miles from a prestigious college. It's Oberlin College. It is an arts college. Stars like Kevin Costner's had a kid go to this college.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of parents come book and stay with us as well.
Sure.
As far as New York City, they'll come here and stay.
Nice.
That helps.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really awesome. So, obviously, you being in the space, one of the questions that I ask anyone that comes on is, what's some advice that if somebody was listening and they're just thinking about getting into this business or thinking about getting into co-hosting, what's some advice that you would tell them?
I would start with your ale, your amenities, location, and experience. I think location is very important. You need to know your avatar. You need to know the market.
Mhm.
You need to put out, people want to know what to do. They don't always want to Google it. We offer a list of restaurants and what to do nearby. Um, and amenities are very important. We go above and beyond
Mhm.
just because we like making people happy.
Yeah.
Period. In general, and that stuff gives them a great experience. And to get a coach or mentor who is in the business and has done it like what we have,
Mhm.
like when we join our mastermind, and we have a great coach, and we thought we knew what we were doing because we did do all the research. However, again, actually doing it is way different.
Yep.
So get a coach or a mentor
somebody that can critique you, and it'll break down that barrier that you think you know what you're doing. The coach will keep it real, and he'll tell you, yeah, do this.
Or
and
you need to get real with
Yeah.
yourselves.
Yeah. My biggest, I guess, advice would be join some Facebook groups. See what's going on in your area. See what some of the owners and some of what the guests are looking for and what the owners are struggling with, so you can be prepared to counteract and build that into your short-term rental. If they're complaining about parking, you prepare for it. If they're complaining about sand or something getting into their properties, you can remove the carpet and all that kind of stuff. Like Mo said, understand your avatar, your potential avatar, and join a bunch of Facebook groups, because I learned the most in understanding what to watch out for and
What not to do
from Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, and there are some really awesome groups out there, and there's tons of information. Like I said, that's how I kind of ran into you, was in one of those groups, and kind of started following what you guys are doing. So I'm really excited for you guys. Obviously you're still green in this business, but getting after
Yes.
it, right? And the my advice for people is always, and in my mastermind and my training program is just go for it, right? It's same thing as when you're buying a property. You can have analysis paralysis forever, and but you're not going to actually do anything until you take that leap, until you take that
Correct.
jump. And you guys went to a conference, took that leap, took that jump, and the sky is the limit in this business, which is what I love about it. So
We decided you take action, you do it, and then you figure it out.
yeah.
Don't try to figure it out too much. You'll think it's that analysis paralysis. Just do it and then figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that have gone through my coaching program that got their first co-host client before they even had a contract, to written up to be able to get signed.
Nice.
And that's okay. Like they got someone that had confidence in them, and then they went and got their contract, and they, got it signed, and they were good to go. And then there's some people that have gone through and, spent, 4, 5, 6 months, getting all their ducks in a row before they actually jumped. And every single time I've talked to someone like that, they said, man, I wish I would have just jumped and then done all this.
Yes.
So, in the boutique management space, there's such a huge opportunity to make an impact in short-term rentals. And like I said, I really, really glad you guys came on so I could learn a little bit about your business today, and really excited to see kind of where you guys go. So, any parting words on what you guys have?
No, we appreciate it. And when we talked, about a month ago, and my thought was, I wish someone would talk to or interview those who are just brand new to the business, because you always hear of the experts, that may have more properties or making more revenue. So, because there's a lot of other people out there who are just beginning and just starting. So I appreciate listening to your podcast and talking to those people who are brand new as well.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot more of them out there.
Yeah. So how could people find you guys if they wanted you to become a co-host for them?
Our website is crawfordshospitalitypartners.com, and it has lists of all of our services and the consulting, and it has our phone numbers and our email, crawfordshospitalitypartners.com.
Excellent. We will put that in the show notes and have that contact information. So Brad and Mo, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And to our listeners, thank you again for tuning in to this week's episode of the Cohost Coach. Got to have a little dog in the background. We will see you guys next week. You guys have a great time. Thanks so much.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks.